Hi y'all, it's been a minute. Good reasons for that. January has been a mess. It's kind of been like a mini 2020, but just like 2020, got to make the best of a bad situation. And I guess that's kind of a theme for this video and the things that I'm wanting to talk about. Before I get started, I do want to apologize if my voice squeaks or goes out. I'm going to try to power through this. I have been sick, and I'll get to that in just a few minutes. First thing I want to talk about is my friend Jonathan. I have known Jonathan since 8th grade. We went to middle school, high school together. Hung out a whole lot after high school, way up until we were in our 20s and 30s and all that kind of stuff. We've known each other forever, always been kind of thick as thieves. Took a lot of road trips together, a lot. I have a lot of stories I could tell but won't because they're probably not terribly appropriate for on here. I know several of them aren't for a fact. But when I started getting sick last week, I was getting ready to make a video about Jonathan and something he created called the Big Tip Challenge. And Jonathan started this last spring when the pandemic had kind of forced things to slow down a bit and restaurants were only opening at half capacity. What he was doing was he was encouraging people, if they can, to tip more than is expected when they go out to eat, because servers have really been hit hard in this. You know, when a server is working in a restaurant that's only operating at half capacity, they're not bringing in the tips that they're used to. And people who are working the service industry, they depend on tips for their income. They also don't have good benefits and things like that. So they're kind of in a bad position. They can't quit their job and have no income. If they go to work, they're making less money than normal. You know, I have one friend who's a server, and he was telling me that there were weeks that he was paying more in gas to get to work than he was making when he got there. You know, it makes you wonder, but you have to admire him for still going to work. So Jonathan had he used $2,200 of his own money to get this challenge started. And that's really nothing to blink at. And he was encouraging other people to do the same. So 3 weeks ago, Jonathan was having complications from a surgery and wound up contracting COVID. He had been in critical condition for at least a week that I know of. And he wound up passing away Saturday. I'm still a little bit in shock. I don't think it's really hit me, and I've not processed it completely yet. I'm in shock because Jonathan is one of these people who could always bounce back from anything. I'd never seen anything like it. It didn't matter what it was, Jonathan just bounced right back up. He was fine. And even though I was worried about him, in the back of my head, I was like, you know, Jonathan will be all right. He always bounces back. And the fact that he didn't bounce back this time has shocked me. It shocked me pretty good. So I want to ask all of y'all that are out there, if you're out and about and you're in a position where tips are expected, like at a restaurant or somewhere, if you can, tip a little more. You know, these people are keeping the economy going. They're making sure we have things that we need. Now, I'm not just talking about servers. I'm talking about everybody. Gas station clerks, the people, cashiers at Dollar General, all these people. And even if it's a situation where you don't tip, you know, tell them you appreciate the fact that they're there. You know, smile, be a little extra friendly. Just let them know. If you've never worked in one of those jobs, a friendly customer can really change the course of your day when you're standing behind a cash register and dealing with grumpy people or people in a hurry and that kind of thing. So just give a little more. Like I said, I've been sick. I got sick. Technically, I guess I was getting sick last Friday. I got a headache. And it was one of those headaches where you kind of know, okay, I'm fixing to get sick. This ain't just a headache. Saturday, I didn't feel good at all, but I was trying to power through. Sunday, it got me. By Monday, I had a temperature of 103. That lasted until Wednesday. It started dropping little by little, back down into the 99s today. I think today's Friday. It might be Saturday. I don't know. It snowed 4 inches the other day, and I had no clue. That tells you where my mind has been this week. 4 inches of snow here is kind of a big deal. Now, really, I've probably eaten my weight in cough drops this week. And if I haven't eaten my weight in cough drops, I'm sure if you add up all the snotty toilet paper and paper towels, it probably weighs more than I do. But if there's been anything else come of this week and being sick, I have a newfound love for my humidifier. So it's been an interesting week with 103-degree temperature and sleep deprivation. It's like every time I'd close my eyes and just start to doze off, phone would ring or something else wake me up. I've been sleeping like an hour at a time. It's been horrible. I have been in just like this weird, you've heard people talk about a fever dream. My life has been a fever dream this week on top of sleep deprivation. I went to cook ramen noodles the other day. They'd probably been on the stove for 5 or 10 minutes before I realized I hadn't even put water in the pot or turned the stove on. I'm trying to stay awake. It's been interesting trying to stay awake while you're cooking. It's been fun trying to stay awake while on the toilet, hoping I'm actually sitting on the toilet. It's been a challenge this week. I've tried to make the best of it once I could, and I've been brainstorming in my notebook for videos and things to do. It really made me think about my channel and the fact that I'd started it during the pandemic. I started it in April when everything was closing, and a lot of the things I wanted to go out and do videos on, I haven't been able to because, you know, things are closed. But where there's a will, there's a way, you know, and if you actually want to make videos, there are ways to get out there and do it. There's lots of outside stuff to go do. There's ways to be creative at home and make videos if you just want to push yourself. And that's what it really boils down to, is having the will and being able to push yourself to do it. There's really no excuses. So I have to say, I'm pretty proud of myself for my almost first year on YouTube that I didn't let the pandemic get in my way. And really, I guess that goes back to making the best of a bad situation. Jonathan did that last spring, tried to make the best of a bad situation for a lot of people. His friends did that for him when he got sick. And, you know, it don't matter if it's something big, a big situation or a little situation. You got to try to make the best of it when you can. I brainstormed some pretty interesting video ideas that I can do in the next 2 or 3 weeks without actually having to go anywhere. That way, if I am still sick and can't get out, I can still pull a couple of these off here at home. I do feel a lot better, especially with my fever going down and things, but I'm not going to take anything for granted because you never know. I've worked a little bit more on a project that I started working on last November that I'm really, really excited about. There's only a couple people who know about it or seen anything of it. And I'm hoping to turn it loose sometime in the next 2 weeks. There'll be a video and more that goes along with it. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm really looking forward to that. And I hope you all like it too. Now, I'd mentioned that I learned yesterday that it had snowed 4 inches this week. There's something way more exciting that I learned this week that I'm so excited to share with you all. If you travel I-75 through this part of Kentucky regularly or any at all, you're probably going to be excited about this too. Guess what they're building here? A Buc-ee's, of all things, a Buc-ee's. The legendary Texas Travel Center is building right here 5 miles up the road from my house at exit 82, which is Duncannon Lane. If you've come through here enough, you've seen the signs for Duncannon Lane. There's nothing there right now. May never be anything there if Buc-ee's opens, because you'd be crazy in the head to open anything, try to compete with that place. If you don't know what Buc-ee's is a Texas creation, and really they just recently started expanding out of Texas. I know there's a location in Georgia now, maybe Alabama. And from what I understand, the one they're building here is going to be the farthest north that they've gone so far. Buc-ee's is like if you take a really, really, really nice truck stop, a nice gas station, a food court, and the Three Bears gift shop in Pigeon Forge and smash them all into one. Like, they call it a travel center, but I don't even know if that's accurate. There's a lot that goes on at a Buc-ee's. They're known for super clean bathrooms, which may give the Kentucky Artisan Center here in town a run for their money, because they have been for years been awarded for having the cleanest bathrooms on I-75. Buc-ee's might give them a run for their money, which wouldn't hurt. I think competition is fun. Buc-ee's is really known mostly for two things other than the clean bathrooms. One is beaver nuggets. I've never had beaver nuggets. I've seen videos about beaver nuggets. I've heard people talk about beaver nuggets, and I'm really curious to try them. The other thing that they're famous for is jerky. They have a massive jerky case. Every kind of jerky you can imagine. I watched a video last night about these jerky cases they have. They're huge. Like, I think it's as long as the front of my house, the ones that I saw. The Buc-ee's that they're building here is going to be 53,000 square feet. That's a little more than half the size of our Walmart here in town. To kind of put things in perspective, we don't have a gigantic Walmart by any means, but this is going to be a big place, and it's going to be a big deal when it opens. So I will keep everybody updated as I find things out. I have sent out some emails to some friends who work in positions around here. I don't want to say too much, where they would know more than what the general public was. So when I hear anything about maybe when it's going to open or anything like that, I'll let you know. But I do know things from one email I got back. They're pretty close to getting started building on it. Buc-ee's, y'all. So this week has been a lot about making the best of a bad situation. You know, I'm not one who likes to sit still. I like to be doing things. So laying in the bed was driving me nuts, but I tried to brainstorm and come up with ideas and things like that while I could. It reminded me a lot when I was growing up. We had this woman on our street who we were all terrified of. I think everybody has somebody or a house in their neighborhood that there's like rumors and legends about, and all the kids are afraid of it because like somebody that's old lives there or something like that. And that was kind of the case with our house. As a woman who lived there by herself. She was in her upper 80s or 90s. You know, she was pretty old. We were terrified of her. And mostly it's because when we would walk down the street, like to go play or to walk to the store or go to the school bus stop or anything like that, she'd just come out on the porch and just scowl at us and frown, and you expect her to start hissing at us. We, you know, try to scurry past her as fast as we could, because we didn't want no part of it. Finally, one day I'd had it. Like, we can't live like this. So I walked up to her on the porch. I said, I need to know what your problem is. She says, what? And I said, why are you always out here on the porch frowning at us and giving us these mean looks? And she explained to me she was born without any muscles in her face. So she was unable to make a smile, just this droop down frown. And I told her, you know, a frown is just a smile turned upside down. So after that point, we would walk down the street and she would stand on her head and just wave at us as we go by. And things were a lot nicer after that. We actually got to be kind of friends with her. And as we went by, we'd wave and talk to her and things like that. She ended up paying me $1 a piece to clip her toenails because she couldn't get down there and do it. But eventually I got to a point I decided I didn't need that $8 all that bad. So I guess that's all for right now, because I do feel like my voice is probably getting ready to give out. A cough drop would probably do me pretty good right now. I want everybody to make the best of a bad situation. It's only a bad situation if you let it be bad. You know, you got to look for the bright spots in life and the way to try to turn things around. As always, I appreciate you all watching. Hopefully, by the end of this weekend, I'll be back full throttle in my regular routine and making videos and responding to comments and all that kind of thing. But I hope everybody out there is doing awesome. Everybody's healthy and safe and all that good stuff. And I'll talk to you later.